Do people remember when Trump said that he loves the poorly educated? I've gotten so many times people in my comment section, and they have no idea the trap. They don't recognize it because I think they're too educated. That the higher educated have been manipulated like the rest of us. They just won't ever take any advice from somebody that's less educated than them because they've been manipulated by the education system to believe that, oh, you don't have to listen to that person that has less education than you do. That's really what it is. But yeah, Trump had said, I love the poorly educated. And so many times when I've made videos the past 4 years, I get all the time people that will say, Trump loves the poorly educated, as if that's a dig at me. Oh, that's such a trap because you're showing how racist you are. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, doesn't matter. Because you're basically saying you think that person's stupid if they don't have as much education as you. And Trump, that's the reason Trump said, I love the poorly educated. Not because he loves stupid people, but that's how you guys saw it. I mean, he's genius that way. I mean, he meant it. He loves the poorly educated, and he said in speeches that, and he said, and I love the educated. What's interesting is that with the division that the medical and nursing associations wanted to cause, they were very much responsible for helping to try to create a race war. Really, the race thing really had died off. It really, and then Obama with George Soros, Black Lives Matters was never grassroots, never. It was funded by and created by George Soros and presented to America by Obama. And then in 2020, they were ready to go. And that George Floyd image they kept showing over and over again. Again, though, that cop didn't kill him. George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. It's in the autopsy. But he sits in jail because the way the media portrayed that and showed it over and over again enraged people. And then all the hospital associations, medical associations, nursing associations, all fell in line like a domino effect and all sent out letters at the same time. All the hospitals in Illinois and the surrounding, or Chicagoland area and surrounding areas, signed 3 pages, I've said this a million times, with all their names on it, sent out to every volunteer, any work at those hospitals saying, we stand with BLM. Systemic racism is the new public health crisis. And it was like, what? Are you kidding me? Well, like it's COVID, but okay. And then from that moment on, then the American Hospital Nursing Medical Association started coming out with, we're reckoning our racist ways. Our organization was racist against black nurses. We segregated black nurses. It's like, okay, this is the first time hearing of it, but okay. And then they wanted to be the ones to tell the rest of us how not to be racist because they assumed everybody was racist because they were. But that's not why they were doing it. And there were some black nurses working with the white nurses. Yeah, both socialists, wanting to create the division because they needed to create the divide. So American Nurses Association, American Hospital Association, American Medical Association in October of 2020 sent Trump this letter because he was going to here, I'll read part of it. As our members continue to battle COVID-19 pandemic, we bear witness to the disproportionate effect of COVID-19 on black and brown people. Vital research conducted at the National Institute of Health and academic centers, many people know that many of the peer-reviewed have been manipulated. This was all manipulated too. Here's the biggest answer I can say why. Because the Democrat Party were the party that supported the Jim Crow laws. They supported slavery and they supported segregation. They were the ones, the elected officials, that were holding the hoses back in the day and hosing down black people when they were going to try to vote. Go learn the history. Go look it up. It's easy with the Jim Crow laws because you can look at the record. They supported it, they pushed it, and there's many black people that said, when are they going? And like more than anything, they have never, they've just turned it because they use the media to constantly say that they're Republican, they're racist. No, if you look at the history, there was more Republicans fighting to end it and Democrats fighting to keep segregation in place. It's true. And many people know it. But what's interesting about this whole thing with these guys, these associations, is that in this letter, not this one, but Trump didn't want anything to do. He knew what they were doing. They were trying to create division because these organizations all supported open borders because of globalism. But that's why they were they even said, we don't have enough black nursing students. We need to bring male black students here that want to go to nursing school from Africa. And so the automatic assumption is that, well, you better support that or you're racist. But I came across some videos by black men that were saying, I'm not African American, I'm a black American. And I was like, whoa, I never thought of it like that. Like we're all Americans. But they want to make you think that, because part of the reason they want open borders is because when you have different cultures coming in here, like it doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, black, or white, we don't eat the neighbor's pet. Okay, but some of those other cultures do. So that's why we need a vetting process. But American Nurses Association was saying they wanted open borders so that African men could come here and go to nursing school because the percentage of black nurses was down. Well, maybe that's because there were black people that wanted to do something else. But they turned it into this whole racist thing. And so that's why Trump wasn't going to support this, because part of what they all wanted was what James Lindsay, go look him up on YouTube. He explains this so good. He goes, the amount of, he knows it the best. They want these struggle sessions because they want to create the division. That's why at some of these federal levels, they were shaming white people in these, what James Lindsay calls struggle sessions. They even call it that, where they shame that, like, no, it doesn't matter if you never felt racist. We're going to shame you. They did that to my nephew that when he was in high school, and his parents figured it out, like what was going on, because my sister had to drive him home every day, like a half-hour drive. But he started getting depressed because he was the minority. He was mainly in like with a lot of Muslim students, but the teachers were doing it because he was white, and so he was starting to get depressed, and they didn't know why. And then they realized, well, they're talking about cow farts, that it was all that Green New Deal shit. So they were shaming him for being white. So that's why nobody can support this shit. Because you're not making anything better by reversing it. And that's what you want to do. Because then in the end, it gives you more power. And that's what you want to do, because it's about the socialist agenda for them. So they need people divided. And this was in the past few years. They just keep at it. They keep trying. That's why they want to push equity, inclusion, and equity. All that is because it's about this. It's about their socialist agenda, but they want to create division. Segregation in nursing, discrimination was common in the past, and its effects are still felt today. Here, all I have to say is that if you come out and you've been around for 100 years, your organization, and you come out then in 2020 and say, we've had our whole history, we've been racist, well, that means the people at the head of your organization, not every nurse, and we shouldn't be taking advice from you. And who did all of those associations of medicine and nursing always support when it came to candidates? Democrats.